Shalom, brothers and sisters. I'm going to start with our next lesson, our next series of lessons, Fall of Babel at the End of Days. Okay, introduction, the Fall of Babel. The adversary has been deceiving the whole world for thousands of years. And the time of the end is now approaching. Yes, it is. A new reign is being announced. And the name is going to strike the foundations of the reign of Babel, the current world order. The next part is, the crowds will accept the Antichrist, or the anti-Mashiach. The one being referred to by the false name is the true Messiah. And he's coming a second time to crush the head of the dragon, the king of Babel. A fake will show up using the name Jesus, a name less than 500 years old. Empowered the dragon. Most will be deceived, even some of the elect. The fact that the one name given under heaven is Yahusha, Hebrew, I am your deliverer, does not upset people. What upsets them is that his name is not Jesus, ISA, IESV, or IESUS. Dresden James explained how the web of lies affects the crowds. A truth's initial commotion is directly proportional to how deeply the lie was believed. It wasn't the world being round that agitated people, but that the world was not flat. When a well-packaged web of lies has been sold to the masses over generations, the truth will seem utterly preposterous, and its speaker a raving lunatic. Read the preface of your translation and the translator's statement about replacing the name of Yahuwah with a device due to tradition. The restoration of the key of knowledge, the stone rejected by the builders, is turning the world upside down even now. We are Yahuwah's witnesses. This is why we are being refined, to recognize the true Elohim by his real name and to guard his commandments. Our belief in the one changing us is not a magic word, but the living Elohim, who is, who was, and who will be. I'm going to interject here for a minute. There has been very recently in the news in Israel that they think that one of the men that is there is Jesus, or is the second coming. So I believe this is the... I just changed it. Okay. To the 35-minute thing. I added it.
You want me to do her poop?
Yeah, you had 5 minutes left before that.
No. I'm trying.
Okay. The builders reject his name because they do not know him. Elohim, who is, who was, and who will be. If he is truly refining us, we will have to choose between the opinions. Yahuwah's name is not Baal. Okay. Eliyahu at Mount Carmel, 1 Kings 18, is an ideal illustration for us to use. Yahuwah's name is not Baal, B-E-L, Hebrew for L-O-R-D. When we call on a name handed down by tradition and hear that it is incorrect, we first attempt to validate it. We might imagine the signs and wonders to be the evidence, but we would be looking in the wrong place. The Bereans looked into the scripture of truth to verify what was being taught. Many are taught today to look for signs. His Hebrew name was removed from the translations, so the deception has been long-standing. The name Yahusha and his commandments have been regarded as evil, by the masquerading messengers, but these two witnesses are our mission as Nazarene. We are his witnesses that he is Elohim, and no other name has been given under heaven by which we must be delivered. See Yeshayahu or Isaiah 43. To best explain this book, we need to relate our present times to the experiences of other captives who lived long ago. We were all born enslaved to sin, to serve a dragon master. A deliverer exists, but the dragon has disguised himself so well, he has made himself appear as an angel of light. Those serving the dragon masquerade as messengers of light. They have imprisoned many minds by blending together pagan teachings, originally hatched in Babel. Most of us rarely think of ourselves as captives, living in a fallen world, guided by teachers with darkened minds, masquerading as messengers of light. All the cultures of the planet share a common origin, Babel. The first king on the earth was a rebellious tyrant named Nimrod. All sun deities are babbled forms of his name, and the customs of the nations stem from a single source, the worship of the hosts of heaven, astrology. Children absorb their parents' language and traditions without question. People are suddenly searching for the truth, and knowledge is increasing. Ignorance is a choice, but the truth will find you. When you absorb what this book will show you, you will be wiser than you were before you read it. To give an answer before you listen would be folly to you. It's not by accident that you were born. Learn to read, and now this little book is in your hands. Yahuwah told us there is a choice between life and death. Many would argue that it doesn't matter anymore that we grow up making wishes, blowing out candles, exchanging gifts on December 25th, or going to a sunrise service on a Sunday called by the name of the Earth Mother, Easter. After just a few pages more, something huge will happen to you, and you will never be the same again.
Why is that wet?
Roscoe's nose.
Well,
Here you go, Bella Bean. Yeah. Oh, pretty Bella Bean.
no, don't chew this. No. There's a hole, Roscoe. Oh.
Okay. When you absorb what this book will show you, you will be wiser than you were before you read it. To give an answer before you listen would be folly to you. It is not by accident that you were born, learned to read, and now this little book is in your hands. I'm sorry if I read that part already. I had to pause it. Yahuwah told us there is a choice between life and death. Many would argue that it doesn't matter anymore that we grow up making wishes, blowing out candles, exchanging gifts on December 25th, or going to a sunrise service on a Sunday called by the name of the Earth Mother, Easter. And just a few pages more, something huge will happen to you. You will never be the same again. Pagan namaste gesture, mutant sun worship, Catholic nun and Buddhist nun. And I showed this in my last teaching. Babel is exposed. Syncretism is the mixing together of dissimilar beliefs. Syncretism strikes deep into your mind. It will creep. It strikes when you're always afraid. Step out of line. The man comes and takes you. Adapted from the lyrics of For What It's Worth by Buffalo Springfield, 1967. Originally, the Silk Road trade route out of India brought the bead praying to the Middle East 200 BCE. Hindu culture, hey! You cannot chew that up. Hindu culture saturated the world by launching from Alexandria and Rome. Praying to the dead, necromancy, ancestor worship, holy water. Roscoe! Get! Ganges River water, Cossacks, guru garb, hand gestures, mudras, namaste, palms together. Domes are shivalingams, steeples, cruxes, ashes on the forehead, bowing to images, prayer rugs or sacred spaces, yoga or yoking with spirits, which is condemned in Scripture, trinities, astrology, and so much more abominable behavior is not going to survive the second coming of Yahusha. Although practices may be familiar and appear outwardly pious, they are worthless chaff. Please accept the truth you are about to read and test it into your against the word of Yahuwah for error, not men's traditions put into your mind over many years. Use the information with love from a pure heart, not with a malicious attitude toward anyone. This is not fiction and will awaken anyone from their slumbering if they listen. Proverbs 18:13. He who answers a matter before listening, it is folly and shame to him. Excuse me. Syncretism slowly boils the frog. False teachers mix Yahuwah's word with Babel's host of heaven mythologies of the world. This produces confusion, chaos, as well as servitude to the principalities and powers. The dragon has already been wide awake for millennia, but now Yahusha is awakening his Nazarene to release his name across the world. A new reign is coming. It will annihilate the controller, the beast. The woman, religious orders, riding the beast, controls the clergy, nobility, and laity, the world order. Okay. I will continue on next time with if it's a mistake, who put Easter in the KJV. And then I will be reading the truth about Easter. Who is she? Yahuwah's word is trustworthy. King of Babel. It shows Santa Claus and his reindeer. Easter, paganism masquerading as light. And Jabberwock, how to identify the behemoth. And I'll give you a little introduction here. That's part of what I'm going to do in my next lesson for you guys. I just wanted to give you guys a little short introduction to our next series of lessons that I'm going to be doing. I love you all. Yahuwah bless you all. And Bella, say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Are you grumpy? Aw, you're sleepy. Okay. All right. Love you all.